In 2005, U.S. Army librarian Corporal Joe Bowers is selected for a suspended animation experiment as the most average individual in the entire armed forces. Lacking a suitable female candidate, the military hires a prostitute named Rita and bribes her pimp Upgrade. When the officer in charge is arrested for running his own prostitution ring under Upgrade's tutelage, the experiment is forgotten. Over the next 5 centuries, societal expectations lead the most intelligent humans to choose not to have children while the least intelligent reproduce indiscriminately, creating increasingly dumber generations. In 2505, Joe and Rita's suspension chambers are unearthed by the collapse of a mountain-sized garbage pile. Joe's chamber crashes into the apartment of Frito Pendejo. Wandering what was once Washington, D.C., Joe is faced with a population that has become profoundly anti-intellectual, speaking only low registers of English and wallowing in overconsumption and crass popular entertainment. Their technology is advanced but often malfunctioning, driven by garish commercialism. Believing that he is hallucinating after only a year of hibernation, Joe enters a hospital and realizes the truth. He is arrested for not having a barcode tattoo to pay for his doctor's appointment, and is sent to prison after being assigned the grossly incompetent Pendejo as his lawyer. Joe is renamed Not Sure by a faulty speech recognition tattooing machine and takes a rudimentary IQ test, then tricks a guard by claiming that he is meant to be released, and simply walks out the door. He finds Frito, who reveals that a time machine exists to return him to 2005, and Joe bribes him with promises of riches through compound interest on a bank account he will open for Frito in the 21st century. Leading Joe and Rita to the time machine, Frito takes them into a gigantic Costco store, where Joe is identified by a tattoo scanner and apprehended. Taken to the White House, Joe is appointed Secretary of the Interior, as the IQ test identified him as the most intelligent person alive. President Camacho introduces Joe to the legislative body, and gives him the impossible job of fixing the nationwide food shortages, dust bowls, and crippled economy within a week. Joe discovers that the nation's crops are irrigated with Brawndo, a thirst mutilator whose parent corporation purchased the FDA, FCC, and USDA. When Joe has the irrigation system replaced with water drawn from toilets, Brawndo's stock drops to zero and half of the population lose their jobs, causing mass riots. Joe is sentenced to die in a monster truck demolition derby featuring undefeated rehabilitation officer Beef Supreme. However, Beef's oversized vehicle is crushed trying to enter the arena, and Joe manages to defeat the other vehicles. Rita and Frito discover that Joe's reintroduction of water to the soil has allowed vegetation to grow. They arrange for the sprouting crops to be shown on the stadium's jumbotron, prompting Camacho to give Joe a presidential pardon. Joe and Rita decide to stay in the future, though discover they had no choice as the time machine Frito mentioned is merely a childishly inaccurate history-themed amusement ride. Following Camacho's term, Joe is elected president and marries Rita. They conceive the world's 3 smartest children, while new Vice President Frito takes 8 wives and fathers 32 of the world's stupidest children. In a post-credits scene, Upgrade awakens from his own suspension chamber and sets off in search of Rita.